Choose life. Choose a career. Choose. You know what's coming next, my friends. Never Taught a Game. N2O2G is here, and we're going to be discussing Season 5 Reloaded, and there were some major changes to the gun shake-up. We previously had the C50A and the KRIG was dominating the mid to long range, with the OTS-9 dominating that SMG category. So now what are these changes and what's happened? Let's go and dive and check it out, shall we? Okay, so the C50A was nerfed. The EM2 had a change, but that wasn't either a buff or a nerf. The assault rifle bravo, known as the FARA, was nerfed. The submachine gun Charlie, the MP5, was nerfed. Cruiser buffed. KRIG 6 nerfed. Stoner light machine gun alpha, that's what it's called, nerfed. OTS-9 nerfed. Tactical rifle Charlie, known as the AUG, buffed. DMR buffed. Type 63 nerf. And PPSH-41 kept as it is. So what do these changes mean? So the C50A, it had it recoil adjusted. So this gun was a great gun for medium to long range, had a slight slower rate of fire, very much like the KRIG. This gun was dominating the lobbies and was a very good gun to be using. So with the recoil adjustment, this gun will mean that it will become harder to use, probably easier for those with the mouse, but for controller people like myself, this will be harder, and therefore not used as much, not as easy. Okay, EM2, base optic eye position retracted. That doesn't mean that much because we use this with a scope, so no change here. This gun we do know is a powerhouse and is absolutely powerful beyond belief, but the recoil is insanely ridiculous, which, I mean, if you are a controller, it's not worth trying this gun. It's just too much to try. I tried it and it was awful. The assault rifle bravo, known as the FAL, upper torso multiplier decreased from 1.1 to 1. This gun is a single fire gun, so this gun is an insane damage profile, but single fire is not ideal for taking out players. So this gun is not good to be using. The Groza sprint to fire speed increased by 15%. So this gun is kind of like an assault rifle SMG. So it's this one we could be seeing coming in being more used as like a assault, a sniper support gun. But I don't see this is going to be as good to be using as the OTS-9 still. So let's think about this one and come back to it. The KRIG 6 maximum damage decreased from 30 to 29, mid damage now 25, minimum damage decreased from 25 to 23, weapon kick adjusted. So this has had quite a lot of damage profile. So this gun hasn't got the biggest best damage profile, but this gun was a laser beam. It was super easy to use and you could still wreck people at far distance. The thing is, as everyone always knows, the QBZ is pretty much exactly the same as the KRIG 6. So guys, I would say if you're using the KRIG 6, now switch over to the QBZ. That's my top tip. I think the QBZ will be a meta gun, with the damage profile being slightly better than the KRIG 6 now, and with no recoil. It's gonna be the gun to be using if your controller want to have easy to use, super good gun. Try it out. We will be seeing how good this is. Will this appear in my top 5 meta loadouts coming lately? We shall see. Light machine guns. So the light machine gun alpha we all know is the Stoner. The recoil increased slightly, but the recoil on this was so super easy to control anyway. So if it's increased slightly, this still gun is gonna be a beast. This appeared in my season 5 top 5 meta loadouts. I was rocking this with the Bullfrog, and I'll tell you what, in Rebirth Oven, this gun was insanely fun. You could cream teams to get to bits, and it had a fantastic TTK. Loved it to bits, and I think this gun will now be definitely top tier meta, along with the QBZ. As well as the FARA, I believe. I'm going to check. I will go through this in a sec, but let's go through the next ones. Tactical rifle, the roll recoil decreased. Not worried about that. That's not going to appear. That's the damage on that is crap. Useless. Not worried about. DMR 14. Recoil adjusted slightly. This gun could be a good gun, but I don't think it's going to be there. M16, same again. Type 63. No. Okay, so submachine guns, the MP5, the Modern Warfare gun, the 10mm auto rounds, we know this had a great damage profile, so the maximum damage decreased from 34 to 31. So now this is pretty much probably going to be on par with the Cold War MP5, but the MP5 Cold War will now be quicker to move, so this is pretty much going to be dropping out. The OTS maximum damage range decreased by 6.2. It's this, but they've only changed that, so it's only the damage range. But we can counteract this by adding some attachments. So this gun is still going to be insanely good, and this gun will be the best SMG to rock. Trust me, this one will definitely be in my top 5 loadouts. The PPSH weapon kick adjusted and ADS sway adjusted. So this gun's going to be a lot more easier to use, kind of quite similar to the Bullfrog in style of play. Depends which one you like rocking. This will have a good chance of having a good ammo set of like 71 rounds, which would be great for quads. But could be potentially a great sniper support gun, but I'd rather be rocking the AK-47 or the XM4. Snipers recoil adjusted slightly for the Swiss, so improved it even more. So this gun here is going to take the KR out of the picture. This gun is smooth and easy to use, and this will be the best sniper gun that everyone will be using. The ZRJ recoil adjusted, slow ADS, definitely won't be using it. In terms of attachments, all the attachments on is they've kind of like just gone through all of the recoil and vertical and horizontal and just decreased it slightly across the board. Nothing else. You can pretty much see here just the recoil adjusted, so a little bit more control. The only other thing they've got here is pretty much with the DMR the same. Damage range decrease reduced, so it can't fire out as far, and rate of fire increase reduced, so the rate of fire will be a bit harder to tap. And then you've got rear grips, Serpent ADS for the Groza has its ADS speed increase reduced from 9 to 7. That's because the ADS or the sprint to fire has naturally, as we saw up here, if I scroll up here, we had, wherever it may be, sprint to fire speed increased by 15%. So that like counteracts with the sprint to fire here to bring it not so much of an SMG, to keep it kind of on par as a bit more of an assault rifle hybrid, which might be why it might be one of the good sniper support ones. So that pretty much sums up everything there. Guys, what I'm going to do now is quickly dive into my Warzone stat sheet. So we might as well start with the assault rifles where we're here. So I'm looking in terms of damage profile. We can see that the FAL is an absolute powerhouse. This appears as my top tier 1 gun. This one probably is ideal for solo play still, but it's definitely not good for doing so duos, quads, trios, all that stuff. Might be good in the rebirth where it's very fast and ecstatic. The C58 I think is still going to be a great gun to use. If you can control that recoil, it's still going to be a great gun. Definitely check it out. The EM2 we know is pretty much a powerhouse, but the recoil is so hard to control. But if you can, use that because it will shred through players. So the main thing we're going to be thinking about is the KRIG. So the KRIG was definitely adjusted. So the damage profiles are definitely slightly there. So if we're going to compare it to the QBZ, so the head is pretty much just slightly more, but for chest, stomach and extremities, pretty much the QBZ is on par and slightly more. If we then look at that after its damage drop of 30, it has miles better damage profile. So we can see we've got for the QBZ 36 for head, 28 for chest, 26 for stomach and 24 extremities, compared to 34 for head, 25 for chest, 23 for stomach and 23 for extremities for the KRIG. So clearly over those longer distances, so the medium to long range engagements, the QBZ is definitely winning out over the KRIG. One other thing is we know that a FARA is a very easy gun to use and has literally no recoil. So if we're going to look at that, the damage drop of this from 27, and this has a higher basically damage profile than the KRIG. So 35 for head, 26 for chest, 26 for stomach and 26 for extremities. And it's pretty much just slightly under par with the QBZ. So in terms of what we've got, the QBZ and the FARA are definitely going to be top tier guns to be using in Season 5 Reloaded. They're very versatile. They're going to be replacing the KRIG in terms of what one's going to use. So guys, these two are ones to watch out for. And also, don't forget the Stoner. The Stoner is another one. So these three, Stoner, QBZ and the FFAR. And if you can control that recoil, the CB8, or if you're amazingly good, the EM2. But those are my top tips for the assault rifles, for the medium long range. In terms of basically for our SMGs, the OTS had its profiles not changed. All it was the damage range. So the OTS is still going to be, in my top mind, pretty much my go-to gun for SMG battles. It's going to be it's awesome. It's fantastic. So the OTS, the MAC10, and the Bullfrog. Those three are pretty much going to be the ones that I'm going to be loving now. You know, I'm pretty much the MP5. I think it stays gone. That's it. It's no longer there. But those are the ones I'm going to be checking out. The Milano as well. It's got a slow rate of fire, which is not what I'm after anymore. Used to be good in its day, but sadly not anymore. And the Tech 9. It's just, for me, just not the gun. Fennec, pretty good for the high rate of fire, but ideally with the small ammo clip, it's going to be good for just solos. But guys, that's it. What did I say? QBZ, FARA, Stoner, medium to long range Mela. For the close range, I will say it's going to be the MAC10, Bullfrog, and the OTS 9. And if you are one of those shotgun guys, the GALLO will be the one to go for. But everyone hates the GALLO. But some of you like using it. But guys, thank you very much for listening. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I shall see you guys in the next.